What is the most profitable real estate niche for real estate agents today? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think it's probate? Do you think it's luxury? Do you think it's land? What do you think? Well, in my opinion, I believe it's new home sales, or commonly referred to as new build or new construction. And as you can see, over the last 5 years, the average housing starts has been well over 1 million. So while new construction may not outnumber the amount of resales, I still believe it's an incredible niche that every single real estate agent needs to look at very purposefully. And given that I work with a lot of real estate agents to get into new construction and also work with a ton of builders running their marketing, I have some interesting insights that I want to share with you. So let's look at the good and the bad of new construction. And make sure to stay to the end, because that can be the difference between you making $30,000 in commission just about every time versus getting nothing. All right, so what are new home sales? Well, that's when a builder builds a home and sells it to a client. Now that home could have been completely designed by that client ahead of time, or that home could have been designed by the builder, built by the builder, marketed by the builder, and then ultimately a consumer that likes that property ends up buying it. So you have builders of all kinds. You have those builders that will not break ground until you contact them, you let them know the land, and you let them know the floor plan that you want to go with, and then they build it for you. But then you have more production builders that buy developments and actually start building homes regardless they have clients or not already predestined for those homes. So for our purposes today, we're going to lean more towards the production builders. And one of the biggest reasons for that, which is actually benefit number one, is that there's higher commissions. When you sell new homes, you have the opportunity of not only collecting what would be traditionally a 3% commission, but you're also being eligible for bonus commission. And depending on the time of the year, depending on the real estate market, depending on the community itself, builders will offer different types of bonuses. They might offer what's called a 3+1. So 3% commission plus 1% as a bonus. But they might also offer a 3+3, which is 3% commission plus another 3% in bonus commission. And trust me when I say this, those are phenomenal commissions to receive. So I've been very fortunate to have received multiple 3+3s because I've been so effective with new build construction. So you can quickly get a $30,000 commission on a $500,000 home that way. Now, for all intents and purposes, new build construction will typically pay out a bit more than resale. Now, of course, there are builders out there that will do 1% commission or 1.5% commission, but you're going to want to check that out in your particular market. Another huge benefit of new builds is that there's less work involved most of the time. With big production builders, you typically have a model home that a sales representative is the one that's staffing day in and day out. So whenever you go to the model home with your client and they like a property and you go under contract on that property, well, it's actually that sales rep in that model home that takes over from there. They're the ones that send out the contract because you're using the builder's contracts. Forget about the real estate commission contracts that you get. It's going to be the builder's contract about 99% of the time, which means that you really don't do too much when it comes to the paperwork itself. There's really not much that you're going to be doing on that front. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't work. It just means that you're doing less of it. You still want to advise your clients to get an inspection. You still want to make sure that your clients are getting approved for the loan. So you're not left doing nothing, it's just you're doing less. Another benefit to new construction, the reason that I think that this is the most profitable niche for real estate agents right now, is because it's such a low barrier to entry. Think about if you try to go down the probate route. Well, you need to build some relationships to get a probate business or large enough book of business so you can continually hammer that niche over and over again. Now think about the luxury real estate niche. That also takes some time to build out the clientele, market to those people in the right way, and ultimately build a sustainable business only servicing luxury. But when you're talking about new construction, you have new construction everywhere, and you as a real estate agent have the opportunity of bringing a consumer, bringing a buyer, and contracting on that. Now, of course, that's from the buying side. If you wanted to be on the listing side, that's a different conversation altogether. If you wanted to be on the listing side, that will take some time to build the relationships with builders so you can start putting their products out onto the market. So that will take some time. However, when you do get in with the builders, you're going to see how rewarding it is, which is actually the fourth benefit benefit when you get on the listing side, you get multiple listings every single year. Now, of course, that depends how many homes the builder starts that year. However, the builders that are doing this full time, they are putting significant amount of homes on the market every single year because they have a business to run as well. This is very similar to working with investors that are producing at a high level. So with investors that you're helping purchase at a high level, getting the homes rehabbed and then listing those properties for them, well, there you're getting multiple transactions. That's the same thing here with new construction. With new construction, you might have a builder that has 20 starts per year, or you might have a builder that's going to do 50 starts that year, or you might have a builder that's a little bit more custom or just smaller altogether that might do 2 to 5 starts that year. But essentially what I'm saying is you get multiple transactions from one singular client. Another huge benefit to new construction is that your clients get a ton of buyer incentives. Your clients are very much incentivized to purchase new construction. They may not know it, but with new construction, you get a lot of your closing costs covered. You get a lot of additional perks, so they facilitate your clients getting into a new construction home. This could include paying for a title policy, which most of the builders will do. This could include paying for closing costs. This could include lowering the interest rate that you might be able to get out on the market. In other words, doing a buy down interest rate. This could include bonuses for appliances, for furniture, for design. They really make it a big perk to buy new. Another benefit to new construction is that your client has options. Especially with big production builders, they buy out hundreds of lots at one time, and they're building multiple homes at one time. So they're building on different parts of the community. They're building different floor plans. They're building with different amenities here and there. So your clients have options. And this was very evident back in 2022 when there was so much demand for housing. There was so much demand that even builders had to do a lottery system to see who would even get their homes. There was that much demand. But in a more regular market, in a more traditional market, your clients are going to have options either on floor plans, on lot selections, where they want to live, when they want to move in. So it's going to really depend on your clients. Another benefit is that the properties that you're marketing on your social media, on your ads, on your email marketing, on your YouTube videos, those properties are so much more marketable because there's something to be said about being able to market brand new homes. They just show better. And it's so simple to see. You have Instagram accounts absolutely blowing up just featuring new construction because there's a lot of model homes out there that look incredible with upgrades galore that make such a great video. And the last benefit or the last pro before we get to the cons is the fact that you have less competition as a real estate agent. There's very few agents that actually focus on new construction. Most agents focus on resales. So they'll go onto the MLS and search for properties that are on the market but are resales. They won't necessarily dig too deep into new construction. So you as an agent have an opportunity to stand out. By branding yourself as a new construction specialist, you will stand out in a sea of over 2 million licensed real estate agents. Which actually reminds me to welcome you to my YouTube channel. My name is Jaime Resendiz, and I help real estate professionals exponentially grow their business through actionable content. And I'm on a mission to help reduce the over 80% failure rate for real estate agents. So if you can hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell, that's gonna really help me out. All right, so now let's get to the downsides. Now let's get into the cons. What is so bad about new construction? Because so far, we've heard a lot of good things about it. But what are some drawbacks? One drawback is that it takes some time to get paid depending on when you contract on a new build construction. So if your clients decide to purchase a home, but it hasn't been built yet, so they just selected where they want that home to go, well, you're not gonna get a commission check until 6 months, 9 months, 12 months down the road, because the builder is not going to give you that commission because technically the buyer has not fully purchased it yet. So you can find yourself getting into contract in January and not getting paid on that home until it fully funds in November and December, or however long it takes them to build that home. So that is one downside. Now, another downside, this is going to be more for your clients, is that typically new construction costs more. So while yes, your buyers will get incentivized a lot by the builders to build new, for all intents and purposes, it still is more expensive to buy new versus going with the resale. Another downside to new construction is that they have their preferred lenders. So if you have strong relationships with builders and you're asking your clients to get pre-approved with those lenders and they go on to do it, that's good. That's awesome. That's great. But the conflict happens whenever you go and show them new construction and they like that home and they want to purchase that home. Well, chances are that they're going to have to go with the preferred lender that the builder has. Why? Well, because all of those buyer perks that we referenced earlier, they're tied to using their preferred lender. Well, in many cases, the lenders that you work with aren't going to be able to match those perks that are offered by that preferred lender. So that's a huge downside. So I encourage you, whenever your client is anywhere close to potentially looking at new homes, you let your lender know that that could be a possibility, just out of common courtesy. Now, the biggest downside to new construction is with the difference between being able to cash a $30,000 commission check versus seeing nothing is the fact that you could lose your client if your client goes to the builder and they don't put your name down at registration. Please have this conversation with your clients whenever you speak to them. When they're working with you and they're going to model homes, they have to put your name down at registration. Because if they go into a model home and the sales rep asks them to sign in and they don't put your name down, well, they're going to be unrepresented. And with many builders, it doesn't matter if you call an hour after they sign in saying, hey, Joe and Becky, the clients that were just in your model home, I've been working with them for 3 months and they just told me that they love a home in your community, but they forgot to put my name down. Well, even if you have a really good story like that, it doesn't matter. Many builders will cut you out. Now, that's not always the case, but there's many builders out there that have a 0% wiggle room on their policy. So the best that I can tell you to avoid that is be very upfront with your clients up front, and 2, build as many relationships with the sales reps around the area, because then they're more likely to cut you some slack.